everybody, it's Mark Starr from the Hopry.com. So I've been kind of sick on and off the last couple of weeks, and I kind of let you guys know that, we would be getting back to doing some beer reviews soon. But one of the things that I absolutely hate to do is have there be too long of a lag period of time on my website. I like to keep you guys engaged and coming back to the website. So I thought we would have an interview. I know a lot of you have been watching the show for, quite a while. Some of you are new, and hey, always love having new people find my website and get something out of it. So what I thought we would do now is just kind of do a informal interview. So I've asked the people who, frequently look at my website and my videos to just send me some questions. They can be fun questions, they can be serious questions, they can be whatever. So quite a few of you sent in some questions. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. But why don't we go ahead and get started, and I'll try to answer some of these, and hopefully I can keep this under about 20 minutes, and I may have to break this video up into a couple segments, but hey, we'll get through them, and hopefully you enjoy this. So the first question that was asked is, how old are you? Well, I'm 38, and I tell people that I'm 38 going on 50, so that's the most commonly given answer that I give. The next question is, do you have children? In fact, I do. My wife and I just had twin daughters a little over 2 years ago. Their names are Iris and Nora. And if you go back and look on my Sessions tab, you'll see that I've actually reviewed beers that have the same exact name as them. So I did the Cantillon Iris, obviously for my daughter Iris, and then I did the Le Baladin Nora for Nora. So you can go back and watch those reviews, but as you can imagine, they keep me busy. We generally put them to sleep about 8 o'clock at night, and that's usually when I come downstairs, set up shop, and start reviewing beers for you guys. The next question, what are your top 5 terrible beers? This one's kind of a tough one to answer, to be honest with you, because I don't really keep track of the bad beers that way. And in fact, and this probably sounds a little pretentious, I don't mean for it to be, I generally don't spend much time, drinking bad beer. I've done a lot of research over the last year or two, and really, focus my time on drinking beers that have a good reputation of being great beers. And that's why, I share those with you on the show. I generally don't waste my time and camera time and the amount of time it takes me to edit just to, bash on bad beers. But I will drink a Bud Light, I'll drink, pretty much whatever, whatever the case may be. But I don't think that I'm above beer. They're just some that I choose not to drink. Next question. What made you decide to get into video reviewing? Well, I felt like I could make good videos. It's kind of the age we live in. You've got YouTube, everybody's got a video camera, everybody's got an opinion. I don't think mine's any better or worse, I just think it's my opinion. But I wanted to make videos that I would want to see. As a beer geek, I would always go out to YouTube and watch, all of the other beer reviews. And I thought, what, I can do that too, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. So that's really the only reason I started doing it. But second to that also is that this is kind of a journal for me. One day I'm probably not going to be doing these reviews, and it'd be nice to just go back and watch these, and it's kind of a visual journal for me, I guess you could say. So what's your favorite review that you've done? I actually answered this one in the Draft Magazine interview that I did not too long ago. But I would have to say that my favorite one so far was the very first one I ever did. It is the Three Floyds Alpha King. Now, it wasn't my best review. It's not the best beer I've had. The reason why it was my favorite, though, is because when I go back and I watch that video, it's funny to see how tense I was, how nervous I was, even placing the bottle opener in just the right position. It's a lot to put yourself out there on camera and know that people that you don't even know are going to start watching you. So anyway, you know, I always go back to that video, and it kind of gives me a place in time, and I can really kind of reflect on that, and I can see just how many people I've met along the way, how many people have come into my life on my website as a result of the show. But anyway, that was one of my favorite. And I would also say that the Pliny the Younger review that I did was also one of my favorites, just because that day I had recorded my 50th session for the supplication and got a phone call just right after that from a friend of mine, Bobby, and you know, I was invited over to share a big growler of that, and once we got down to about the end, he was like, hey, why don't you take this one home and review it for your show? So that's what I did. It was a really great day, big Russian River day. So those two are probably my favorite. Does your wife ever get mad at you for spending a little too much money on beer every now and then? Also, is she a beer drinker? Well, first of all, yeah, she is a beer drinker. She's not as adventurous as I am. She doesn't like IPAs, which I've just been trying, and I'm not having any luck with that. But she really loves the Imperial Stouts. She likes Hefeweizens, you know, Pilsners, things like that. But I think her favorite is the Founder's Breakfast Stout. In terms of whether or not she gets mad at me, I think early on, you know, she kind of looked at my beer stash down here and was like, why in the hell are you spending money on all this beer? I've got like 10,000 bottles of beer sitting in my basement. But you know, I just kind of let her know, hey, this is my thing, this is my passion, this is what I love to do. And I think that she's seen the success that I've had with the website, and I think she really enjoys watching it as well. And so I think over time she's kind of opened up to the idea, and plus she gets to reap the benefit too. When I open a lot of these beers, she gets to drink those as well. So no, I don't think she gets mad anymore, but no. So next question, what would you say your quote-unquote go-to beer is? Well, I guess I would have to base it kind of, you know, it depends on what I'm looking for, what I'm in the mood for. I really like, because it's so easy to get here, I love the Boulevard Tank 7. It is probably one of my, it's probably the best Saison I've had. It's got a really nice hop characteristic to it, and well, you can go back and watch the review if you check on my sessions tab. I reviewed it, but it's a really great beer. It's a 750, so I usually have to put a cork in it and drink the other half the next day, but always go back to that one. I would also say Modus Operandi is kind of a go-to for me. You know, sometimes I get off work and I just want to stop by the liquor store, get a six-pack, and come home. Because they're in cans, I can do that. They're really easy to drink, kind of easy to come by, so that's another one. And then finally, you know, if I'm in the mood for a stout and maybe it's cold outside or whatever the case is, I always tend to go back to Old Rasputin. I just think it's a very dependable stout. You can always find it in the liquor stores, and it's, you know, probably one of my favorites. So what would you say are your whales? If you don't know what that means, it just basically, the question is asking, you know, what are the rarest beers that you're, you know, trying to find? What are the ones that you've had the hardest time getting? You know, I kind of have a philosophy that most beer can be found if you're willing to pay the price. You know, the three that I think I would really like to get a hold of the most, obviously the first one would be the Westvleteren 12, just because, you know, of obvious reasons. It's kind of hard to get. It's claimed, you know, or heralded as the best beer in the world. So, and I've not had it, so I'd like to try one of those one day, and we'll get there eventually. So, the next one I chose is 2008's Surly Darkness. A, because I want to try Surly Darkness, and B, because the 2008 label is probably one of my favorite beer labels ever made. If I had one, I probably wouldn't even drink it. I'd probably just save it, you know, for collection purposes, but that's another one. And then finally, I think this is probably on a lot of people's list, is the Lost Abbey Isabel Proximus. I think I've been infatuated with that beer ever since I heard of it. All of the great breweries that came together for that, I think it's probably just an amazing, amazing beer. So.